this morning. We have a great crowd. We have a wonderful agenda ahead of us with a wide variety of speakers. Our speakers today are going to focus on age-friendly projects that they have actually incorporated in their own cities or in the county itself. I just want to acknowledge we have a few of our employees from Center for Age-Friendly Excellence. Anabel, Pelham, who will be speaking a little bit later, is the director. So we are a nonprofit organization that has been working with the cities in San Mateo County in getting them certified and also developing action plans. I do want to thank the city of Brisbane for hosting us this morning and thank their staff, everyone who was involved, and I know there were plenty of Brisbane volunteers that helped with this event, but I will let your former mayor, Karen Cunningham, do those kudos at the end of our program today. I just want to let you know that actually we did get Brisbane age-friendly certified in June of 2023, and then we developed their action plan, and that was approved from the AARP in February of this year. So a big accomplishment for the city. I would like to thank Haley Braff from AMR. She was unable to be here today, but they did donate all the breakfast goodies this morning. Unfortunately, AMR had a norovirus outbreak, and so their speaker wasn't able to attend either today, but I still want to do their thank yous. Also, I know most of you were given a bag of goodies when you walked in this morning. After lunch, what you may want to do also is we have a resource table in the back. So if you want to go by and kind of pick up a few things if you haven't done so already, that would be wonderful. So it is my pleasure to kick off our Light Up Your Life workshop. This is the third workshop that the Center for Age Excellence has done in the last year and a half. So this is our last one for this year. So again, I hope you enjoy your program today. And I am going to start out by introducing the Mayor of Brisbane with Lentz.
All right, thank you, Anna. And welcome to Brisbane. We have a beautiful day, fantastic program for all of you this morning. And we're just honored to have Brisbane host the last workshop. And so I see a lot of familiar faces out in the audience. Thank you for being here, and really looking forward to hearing from the speakers and continuing the progress of our action plan in Brisbane, and I know in all of your cities as well. So I'm going to kick it on back over to Ann so we can keep the program going. Again, thank you for being here in Brisbane.
Next we have Anabel Pelham, who is the founding director of CAFE, and she'll say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is what creative community looks like. So take a look around. This is creative community in action. I'd like to offer thanks to the city of Brisbane and Mayor Lentz for the beautiful facility that we have here today and hosting this important community event. For our cities to become and our communities to become truly age-friendly, we need leaders like Mayor Lentz who recognize the importance of these issues and contributions of adults 60 and older. And for the same reason, we greatly appreciate the expertise of our guest speakers today. Thank you. Gratitude also to the long and hard work of the CAFE team, especially Anna Bryan and Karen Cunningham for all the volunteers who make this special day possible. This is the 10-year anniversary of CAFE, and we're celebrating a decade of working with our partners to create age-friendly communities. CAFE is a member of the Local Impact Collective of the Los Altos Mountain View Community Foundation. They have been our steadfast and encouraging home, and cafe would not exist without their truly foundational support. Their founder, Roy Lave, believed in cafe, and we will never forget his vision, trust, and courage. Special thanks to Supervisor Anabel for his leadership and support of our mission, and the technical assistance we've been able to provide to our city partners for age-friendly city action plans. Age-friendly city action plans set priorities and implement measurable steps toward inclusive, accessible community for people of all ages. This is about real social change. And we're going to be hearing many, many examples of that this morning and early this afternoon of the important changes taking place across San Mateo County. So I hope you all are ready to get inspired, and we're so glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anabel. Next up, we have Pullen. He is the San Mateo County Director of Aging and Disability Services. We're still queuing up here.
Here we go. I think Lee needs the mic.
It would help. Good morning. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, City of Brisbane, for hosting this event. It just felt so great coming in here. There was such positive energy in this crowd, and so it's very, very uplifting. And this morning I was waxing a little nostalgic and sentimental, thinking back just how quickly age-friendly has spread across our counties, our states, the nation, the world. I remember being in Santa Clara County circa 2012, serving as their aging and adult services director, and I was hearing about this concept of age-friendly and Los Altos, and this person, Anabel Pelham, and I think we should give Anabel Pelham a hand. I was busy working on the county's seniors agenda there, which then later morphed into the cities in Santa Clara becoming age-friendly. I went to Marin County, and I hop around a lot, can't keep a job. I went to Marin County in 2013, and it was just very thrilling when the city of Sausalito wanted to become an age-friendly city, and I think we were like the 4th or 5th in the state at that time. This is 2014, so just 10, 11 years ago. It was just very fun to write a letter of recommendation to the World Health Organization and went off to Geneva, and it felt like such a big deal, and it was a big deal. So this has just been an amazing movement. And our contribution in one way with the County of Santa Clara is the domain of social participation, civic engagement, helping people to become more connected in their society in a variety of ways. And the impetus for this was the board's declaration back last year, at the beginning of the year, January 2024, when they passed a resolution. I'm going to read from it. Whereas the board acknowledges the importance of addressing loneliness and isolation as a critical public health concern, recognizing that social connection is essential for the health and well-being of our residents. They resolve to declare a public health crisis and commit to taking approaches. And there are several strategies in that resolution, such as strengthening the social infrastructure, deepening our knowledge about what causes situations where people become isolated and lonely and disconnected, and then cultivating a culture of connection. So what we're working on is a project called Community Enrichment. We want to move folks from this isolation and loneliness to where they can be more connected in a variety of ways. So we spent some time last year with the county health department, county executive's office, deciding where do you start with something around loneliness, because it can pertain to any age, adolescents, young adults, middle-aged adults. We landed with that we would start with older adults and adults with disabilities of any age. And so we went through a rigorous contracting process and finally got launched in June. And so when we think about connections, it's of course coming to community centers, coming to events like this, but it's also employment and jobs, opportunities for volunteerism, mentoring, peer-to-peer connections. So we're looking at all the various ways
that people can get connected. And we also want to look at what the barriers are to connection. So this is a little bigger words than I really needed on here, because there's really only three things we're trying to do with this project. One is to see what's available now, to create an inventory of all the opportunities that are available for people to have connections here in San Mateo County. Then figure out, well, what's missing or what's preventing them from having those connections. Is it economics? Is it transportation? Some other reason? So trying to determine that, and then third, making some recommendations for everyone. Recommendations for our Board of Supervisors, but also looking at policies and practices and things that we can do across the county, whether you're a community-based organization, a faith-based organization, a city, to help people stay more connected in their lives. When we're doing this, I didn't put the slide up because I think probably all of you know about the 8 domains of H-friendliness, and most of you do. We are categorizing these opportunities for connection under those 8 domains. So is this one about civic engagement? Is this one about social participation? Is this an issue of respecting social inclusion? Do we need to do a better job about confronting ageism in our society that's holding people back? I am delighted that we have this advisory committee. They serve to guide my office and the consultants who are working with us. It's just an advisory group. I promised them we wouldn't put them to work. That was how I got them to agree to join us. But you can see the variety that we have here. We have the director of our parks department. We have representation from Soundtrans, our commissions on disability and on aging, and we'll be hearing later from in this gathering from the director of our libraries. And then we have, of course, the Center for Age-Friendly Excellence. So I really appreciate the center being a part of this community enrichment project that we're doing. Where we're at today, we're still studying things. So for November, December, we're doing key informant interviews. So most of those people that you've seen, or the organizations on the previous slide, will be having one-to-one interviews with them, getting deeper into what they see as things that may have not been thought of before, or things that are holding people back from being socially connected. What we're going to do is called intercept interviews, where basically you go to where people are gathered and talk with them, but instead we're going to have it be a little more of like a focus group where it will be planned. So we'll be going to some of the community centers and trying to understand more deeply than maybe just what we think we know, what encouraged someone to come and participate, what held them back, what can we learn to help others want to be more connected. And then what's come to our attention, well, we've sort of always known this, but we didn't have it specifically outlined at the beginning, but now are. We want to have a focus group, or at least one, on caregivers, thinking of how lonely that job can be if you're the spouse caring for someone at home and you just can't leave the person alone, and so you don't end up getting out very much and you lose your social connections as well. So is there anything we can do to help family caregivers who may be experiencing isolation and loneliness? And that's where we're at today. I think that's in my slides. I only got 4. And the plan is in the months ahead, January, February, we should have our preliminary priorities that have been identified from data and research and conversations and this advisory group. We will then be letting the community know what is available, having a little bit of a campaign of ways to get connected, and then bringing forward a report and recommendations to the Board of Supervisors this spring. In the meantime, it doesn't mean that we can't be doing all kinds of things to keep people connected, like events like this today, and some of those things will be happening as well. And Supervisor Canapa's office was mentioned, and part of those will be in partnership with his office. So look for this coming this new year, and I'm just really pleased that the county has prioritized this, and we have such good support from our board. So thank you.
Thank you, Lee. That was wonderful. Hey, does anybody have any questions for Lee? This is great. Our county is really stepping up. It's amazing. Any questions for Lee?
We'll have more specifics in a few months.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. apologize about breakfast a little bit, and we're very, very grateful for what AMI did, but we didn't know where anything was, so you guys had a free-for-all and was go find out what's there because we didn't know. So thank you for being patient with us. Okay, our next speaker and one of our two keynote speakers for this morning is an incredible woman. She's done incredible things, and when she was at her most broken, she learned how to fly an airplane. So it was my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Rosen, and you will enjoy every second of listening to her speak. Okay, perfect. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Karen. Thank you to all of you for being here. And I named my little presentation Sprouting Our Social Connections, because we're concerned about lack of social connections, and so what better would it be to think of how we can sprout them, not just here today, but going forward. So I actually want to say thank you to the new AI and especially Copilot that helped me just make this slide. I told it exactly what to do, what colors I wanted, I wanted the faces, I wanted what was part of it, and it slowly made the slide for me, then changed and changed and changed. And I did not involve a single graphic designer. So this is all about me trying and learning AI. So all of you can do this as well. You can talk to the computer. Anyhow, so let me just tell myself to get to the next slide. So before we get started, because I walked around and I wasn't sure if all of you knew each other. So I think before I get started, I want you to just to get to know at least two people at your table. I want you to turn to the person both to the right and the left, and I want you to tell them your name. And I want you to tell that person what favorite ice cream you like to eat, if you eat ice cream. So please do that. You get 1 minute to do that. Transportation. We may in fact live on a limited budget. Well, us two young families, I can tell you that. If you look at this mom on the right side here, and she has a little toddler in her stroller, and she has her grocery bags on her stroller, and if there's not great sidewalks, and if the neighborhood isn't in fact safe to walk in, and if there isn't a grocery store anywhere close by where they actually sell real food, as opposed to just alcohol and a couple of milk cartons, then it's going to be really difficult for this mom to navigate her everyday life. The other thing is, Are there schools? Are there neighbors? Is there a community like you have here? Is there transportation to get there? Is there a rec center, as we have rec center people here, where you can sign up for classes that otherwise would be extremely expensive to sign up for outside a rec center? Is there a community center where you can go and spend time? Is there a park where you can actually see birds, trees, sit on a park bench, say hello to people, and see some activity and get some fresh air? And is there a medical center? Can you get to that medical center? All of these units struggle with similar things, and I have addressed that for 30 years in many ways. So I think they're very similar, and again, I will equate those. If we solve it for one group, we'll solve it for the others as well, which I think is the beauty of us being here together and recognizing there's a lot of things we collaborate on and do. So here again, here's me, the pediatrician. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids, adults now, that I have raised both in San Mateo and Palo Alto and Alameda. I'm a friend, Karen Cullinan, and I have been friends for many years. And as a matter of fact, I used to be her now adult son's pediatrician. Thank you very much. I can't believe it's been that long. But anyhow, and I'm a neighbor. And I take pride in being a neighbor. And wherever I've been living, I've always made an effort to make sure I get to know my neighbors. Not necessarily also for my sake, but I know they need to know who I am. And there's going to be times when we need to lean on each other and we may want each other's help and support, and that means a lot. So that's a true desire of mine. You see the number 37? You probably cannot guess what that means. I'm not 37 years old, as you can tell. But on my mother's side, I grew up in northern Sweden, and where it's cold, long winters. My mom was one out of 11 children. Second from last. I am number 37 of cousins on my mom's side. I am the young spring chicken cousin, and I have a lot of lovely cousins who are then a lot older than I am. And as a matter of fact, in December, I'm going home to see my cousins, and we're having a cousin reunion. And my oldest cousin is 85, and I went to school with his son. So I'm one generation behind, but that meant I grew up with a lot of people that already by the time I was born, they were already almost, tail end of their jobs, retirement, aging, hips, knees, whatever it was. We lived through that. So I have to live very closely with a lot of people that are older adults, and therefore I think at times that as much as I've been working in pediatrics, I'm also an old soul. I love people that have had a life and can give me experience and share their stories and give me wisdom at the times when sometimes I struggle to see, something straight. So that's a little bit about me. And again, as was mentioned here earlier, when we're talking about social connection and how important this is for us, in coming from the healthcare system, we have recognized, actually very recently, unfortunately, maybe the last 10 years or so, that our social connections are extremely important for our well-being. And we measure so many other things when you come to see us in the healthcare system, your blood pressure and your heart rate, and we check your EKG, and we do check for anemia, and we started checking for BMI to see if people are growing larger, which we have been, and so we keep on checking for that. But we haven't been checking for social connections and what health impact it in fact has if you do not also make sure that people are socially connected. We are, by default, we like to live in herds. We've done this for thousands of years. That's how we survived. We didn't survive as lone individuals out in the middle of the prairie. We worked together, we lived together, we supported one another. But things have changed. A lot of things have changed for the positive. Fantastic roads. For whoever's taking care of the roads in Brisbane, they look really great. The parks are beautiful. Technology is great. and we have cars that can self-drive. We don't have to leave our house to get food. We don't have to leave our house to get a lot of things, but to the detriment of our social connections. And this is not just a Brisbane or San Mateo County issue. This is truly a concern from our entire nation, as declared by our former Surgeon General in the last 10 years or so. But not only the US, we're looking, this is a global priority. This is happening everywhere in the world. Everybody's using technology and roads and fast speed trains to commute far to go to work. And then our communities break apart and we lose some of those connections. Our family members move away to Taiwan to work or to Europe, and you have a little sliver of time every day that you might be able to catch them on a tablet or a phone call. But that normal connection that we used to have has actually been lost. And so, as a matter of fact, both the UK and Japan has added one more minister to their government, and it's the Minister of Loneliness. Reckon that. We don't have one yet in the United States, but I think we need one, because we are no different than people in other parts like the UK and Japan. People are living the same lives as we are living here, and they're recognizing that we need to take this seriously, and we need to put the money and time into creating those opportunities to reconnect all of us. So this again, thank you to Co-Pilot. I made this slide. I'm very proud of it, so I'm getting good at this now. And so can you. So we go home and test that. And so here, again, another slide I made. And this is just the same scenario and two different people. And I put the lady to the left as a little older than your maybe young adult. But it was really, the percentage you see there is how many of the aging older adults that actually identify in this country as extremely lonely. Not a little lonely, and it can be hard to measure, right? How lonely are you in a day, right? 0 to 10, like we get asked at the doctor's office. I don't know. Am I at 3? Am I at 5? Am I at 9? Sometimes your day seems the same and you don't really know. And it's hard to compare that to your peers. But when they have tried to give them some guidelines to say, how would you feel just like a 0 to 10 pain scale, 20%, so 1 in 5 older adults feels extremely lonely, meaning really that it's actually affecting their overall health, that they can recognize. Young adults, surprising, 1 in 3. 1 in 3. They're constantly commuting, going to work with their colleagues. They are going out to see people. They are doing things on their social media, maybe even 24/7. Yet, they feel lonely. Because the connection to the people around them is not what they are wishing for. It's not that deep connection, somebody you can lean on, trust, have a very deep conversation with. Is often very fluid, and then you just connect with the next and next. And it's having some detrimental effects on their mental health, just like older adults. And that's what we're seeing. And then they come to see us, and then we give them pills to make them feel better, but it's not solving the root of this problem. So what we want to do then is to see, what is that going to look like? So this is a little bit of the background, but I do want to say, from a physician's standpoint, I have to call out that loneliness has health consequences, and it has just as much health consequences if you are extremely lonely and remain so for a long period of time. It can actually lead to type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, depression, and dementia. And if you have any of those illnesses and ailments already, which is pretty common as we grow older, they get worse faster. And so it doesn't matter what kind of medications we give you and how many stress tests or whatever we do and how much insulin we give you, we need to dial that back and say, what else can we do and should do? Because there are some ways that we can actually change this. So there is a researcher who's out of Utah. and Brigham Young University. Her name is Julianne Holt Lowstone, and she compares social connections, which is what we're here to talk about, with the similarities to actually food. And that's quite interesting, because she says there's three fundamental pillars to social connections. So the structure, which she says, is that, think of it, food and water. Well, there's a structure to that. We eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sometimes we skip some, and sometimes we eat more, and snacks. But there's usually a little bit of a structure to this. So then we get what we need. And we know when we feel hungry, right? We have learned that since young childhood, that when I'm hungry, my stomach is growling, I feel shaky, my blood sugar is low. So then we know when we have cues to actually eat, right? Then the function, up there to the right, what does food do to us? Well, it brings us the nutrients that we need. It's the function that helps, let's say calcium, vitamin D, it strengthens our bones, it strengthens our muscles, it helps with all those things. And that's a really important part of why we eat and drink water. Well, social connections have the same thing. And then looking at the quality, you can eat a lot of food, like fast food, but you're going to gain weight, but the quality may not be there. And just like we say we want quality relationships, same thing is, with the food. We want not fast food, we want whole food. We want not bad relationships, we want good relationships. Those are important. So you need to have the community, which is the structure, where you are meeting like today, where you go to the community center, where you go to the pool, where you go to the library. That structure allows you to have those interactions and fulfill you with some of those social connections that you may not even know that you're missing and that it's causing you to be less healthy than you could be. And then the function is that, yes, when we are, and when we're connected to one another, and I know that for a fact, when I was sick in the hospital, I needed people to help me, and I had a friend called Karen Cunningham and her lovely husband Emmett, and they came and supported me by helping. In those days, we didn't have all the IT in the hospitals, and so there was really nothing for me to do while I'm lying in a body cast. Well, they helped rig up things so I could actually watch some comedy shows so I could lie and laugh in my hospital bed. Thank you. And those are the kind of relationships that you fulfills and can sometimes ameliorate some of the things you're going through. And that's no different than the nutrients builds up your bones and muscles. And then the quality again. We want to make sure that we develop good relationships. We all have had some bad relationships, and sometimes we have to say less of those and more quality relationships. But if you don't make the effort and put in the effort to develop that relationship as it goes ways, then you will never develop that close relationship. And we know we need that. There's always going to be times when you fall down, you break something, you're sick, sad, somebody will be there because you have that close relationship and they know you sometimes better than you know yourself. So that's why she's comparing this to food and water, just as important. So how did I get involved in this? I don't know how much time do I have left. Am I going over?
3 more minutes.
3 minutes? Okay, I have to whip through this quickly. That's going to be hard. So Annie, here's Annie that I met after having had a bad hip. And this is how I ended up here. She actually had a husband who developed early dementia, and early dementia had led him to become a little verbally abusive towards her. And she had no way to get mental health support other than actually getting a video visit from her healthcare system. And that doesn't work. He's homebound, she's homebound. It didn't work. And whenever she tried to leave her house to take a video visit, it wasn't enough coverage, so it wouldn't work. So she wasn't seen. So then I decided I needed to do something about this. I thought I needed to fix it for her, and I needed to fix it for everyone else. So I actually went down to the local library, met with a lovely librarian, and said, I know we have study rooms here, and these rooms are used for tutoring, people take meetings, but how about having Annie have an opportunity to come here and take her video visits with her therapist? And the librarian said, I don't see why not. We can make that happen. So I went back to the pool where we had met, and I told Annie, I think I solved your problem. And she said, did you do this for me? And I said, you bet I did this for you, because you deserve this, and you need this, and so do many other people. So since then, we've met with City Council, County Supervisor, Vice Mayor in San Jose, talked to Karen, a lot of things have happened, and we're hoping that we can continue to build on that. That there's centers, not necessarily always library, but community centers, rec centers, maybe even some churches that can have some of those booths, I'll show you, that you can actually go in, full Wi-Fi, perfect connection, maybe even sign out a tablet and be able to connect. And therefore, you're not going to be stuck at home where you cannot have that conversation. And a lot of my moms in pediatrics, same thing. I've taken lots of video calls from bathrooms, closets, cars, to just have them have an opportunity to talk to me. I'll whip through this. I won't go through this one though, because I think we're going to be running out of time. Is that right?
What time is it? Yeah. Yes. Okay.
2 minutes. All right. I think this was another integration system in Sweden where 18 to 25-year-olds live with 65 plus year olds. Great system that works really well, and people are really happy. And then, just one thing that I think I want to I can get 2 minutes. This is Desmond Tutu. I went to listen to him years ago. He's a fantastic archbishop from South Africa that fought apartheid and really wanted to reduce violence in the world. And he gave me some things that I thought was important. It was, if things are tough, and sometimes we feel like we can't change anything overnight, he said he liked to think there's ways that he can change the narrative of his day. We can all look back at the day and say, well, what was my day like? Well, it turns out that if you say that I have 3 criteria, I want to have had a social connection with somebody that day. Talk to somebody, talk to a friend or a family member. I had a good belly laugh. And I learned something that I didn't know yesterday. If I have those 3 things, the day has been pretty good, no matter how much chaos is around us. So now I can conclude when I go to bed, the day was actually included, all my 3 elements are important. And then tomorrow I can address some other things. And I loved that narrative. It has helped me through a lot of times when I thought every day was pretty dark. So here I wanted you to meet him, Robert, and I promised him he was going to be famous. He is my water aerobics buddy, and he has had some medical issues. And so he has really hard time walking. He shuffles, walks with a walker. And I asked if I could take his picture because he's 81 and he's been doing this since his illness. And he comes every day. And then he said, am I going to be famous? And I said, yes. And then he said, I'm going to have to call my wife and tell her that I'm going to be famous. I said, of course you should. Then he came back the next day and he said, you know what? I think it would be better if I did a video. I said, you are absolutely right. Because he said, they need to know that anybody can do this. So, how do we turn on the video now?
Just the next slide. Next.
I need to see this. I don't know.
There's no play. There's a play button.
Yeah. Starts.
I see the play button.
No, it's not it. Okay. Okay. We'll take it. Here you go.
Robert in action.
So just to mention, you guys have water aerobics here, and it is like the best thing you can ever do if you have any hip, knees, ankles, foot, because you're only doing 15% of your body weight in the pool. And it's fun, and when you take your clothes off and dance next to other people, it's hard not to get to know them, I can tell you that. Tai Chi, I want to tell you, I just did a Chinese dance behind this building today because I took a walk and ran into some Chinese ladies, and they asked me to join, so I had some time to kill. I did some dancing with them, that was fantastic. Read to your children or grandchildren or volunteer, which is fantastic. Here is one way you can actually play with your grandchildren on a tablet. have them have the same toys as you do, read the same book, play with the same balloon, and they actually think that you're playing with them in the same room. I will tell you, they will tell me all the time that they had milk and cookies with their grandma, and grandma lives in Miami, so it's amazing. So here, I wanted actually for all of you to take your candles that you have on your table, and I want to turn them on, whoever has the candles, and I want you to hold those up, because I want you to see you represent this candle. And this candle by itself in a dark room is not going to light up much thing. But when you're standing next to one another and you're there, even if your light might flicker a little bit one day and not be as strong as it usually is, you will still be part of the light that actually lights up that room. And without you, it will not illuminate as much. So you are important and you are this light. And wherever you go, you're going to be able to build a community that's going to help not just you, but everybody else. So before you go now, before I go, I want you to turn to the people around you, because you were very good at talking, and tell them, hold their hand, and say, thank you for being here today. I hope to see you again. Please do, and with that, I say thank you. Does anybody have any questions? We broke a second mic. We're good today, very good. So if you would like to ask a question, speak up. I think you've got it. Wait, there's a question. Oh. You got a big voice, you can do it.
Thank you. I'm not a big talker.
Yes, you are.
So I am curious about, thank you very much. Okay. I'm curious about nutrition, and we deliver to our seniors and have meals for our seniors in Brisbane once a week. And I know, like in Daly City, their Dolger Center, they feed their seniors 5 days a week. I would like to see a program to where we could feed our seniors, because we have serious, and not just our seniors, but those in need that have food insecurities. It's an obligation in our community, and what we do serve to our seniors, I wouldn't consider to be a well-balanced meal on a regular basis. And the point about loneliness, just showing up with the meal once a week has an effect on people, just to be able to visit with somebody for a few minutes. So if we could work on something like that, to have a robust program, that would be very effective. Thank you.
Thank you. There's going to be those people who does deliver these meals for everybody. Do we have any other questions for Dr. Rosen?
Not so much a question as an appreciation. One of the things I appreciate is that you used your cultural heritage to inform for those of us who might be very distant from our cultural origins. But one word I did not hear that I really like to see emphasized is the word independence. Being able to continue to have one's independence and not be taken care of is really an important way to continue to have dignity enough to show up socially.
I totally agree with you. And so part of being that independence, and I had meant to ask you guys, but I ran out of time, is how many of you did not walk to school, ride your bicycle to school? It's the same thing. When you're growing older, you want to be able to move around, do your own thing, do your own shopping, whatever it is. It's not about somebody else doing it for you. It's about you being able to do that for yourself. But that's where the city, when it's friendly, and you have a grocery store, and I can tell you, as an example of that, I was part of the Disability Alliance at my hospital, and we've been working a lot to make sure that we meet, take care of barriers, actually remove barriers. And I remember reading an article from Oregon, and one of the issues that made it a lot of the patients or people unable for them to go to the medical center on their own and having to ask for a ride was that there was no bus that actually went to the medical center that was slightly outside town, and with worse weather, of course, using a walker, how are you going to get there? So people had them to depend on family and everything else. It took the community. They went to the city council meetings and started raising their hand and saying, could we redraw those bus lines? Can we just reroute these buses and change it so we can actually get on the bus and so we don't have to ask for help? That's exactly what happened. And guess what? Everybody independently that could enjoy taking the bus. So they took the bus and they showed up at the medical center, and there were less of a need for transportation and an opportunity for you to feel, I did it, I can do it, I get out. I'm saying hello to a friendly bus driver. That's a good thing. So I agree with you.
One more round of applause for
Okay, and to follow up.
Tom, do you have your phone now?
Incredible speaker from San Mateo County Libraries. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Anabel Depain. I've spent 7 years on the JPA for the San Mateo County Libraries, and Anabel is one of the most incredible women I've ever met. Come on down.
So happy to be with you here today. Delighted to share some information about our library programs and services. My hope is that you leave today being inspired about how libraries play a very important role in supporting healthy aging, lifelong learning, it's an old library phrase, and building connections. So first, a little bit, I'm running. I said I wanted to run it and then I forgot. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a map of our service area. It's actually a map of the county. It's hard to see, but you can see where our libraries are at. We serve a service area of 351 square miles. That includes the 11 communities or 11 cities in our library JPA, and we also serve all of the unincorporated areas. So we operate 13 community libraries. It's a population, it ranges from right around 273,000 people. We also have a bookmobile, a maker mobile, and are starting to establish library outposts and look at other ways that we can build services out in the community. I know Brad's going to come up a little bit later, but we also work closely with our city library partners as well as the community colleges to provide seamless service to the entire county. So a little bit more about us. Our vision is where community grows and thrives, and our mission is together we build meaningful connections and inspire lifelong curiosity. Our strategic goals, we have 4, and I won't read through them all, but it's to listen, to connect, to discover, and engage. And our values. Our values reaffirm that our libraries are welcoming and inclusive spaces that celebrate diversity, they foster belonging, and they strengthen community ties. These values, along with our vision and mission and goals, define our new, or what we've built up to, 2025-2030 strategic plan. So we spent a year long, it was a year-long effort, and we used several strategies that you see here. Lee talked a little bit about the intercept surveys. We made an effort to make sure that we reached out and had robust, broad-based community engagement, and we worked to listen deeply and make sure that most of the people in our communities were represented, or that we had representation from all of the partners and residents that we serve. a key focus was engaging older adults. And they represent the majority of the responses we received. You can see in this chart, the orange is related to our service area. It's based on age at the bottom, so age range, 60 plus, 24%. And the survey data that we received was 22%. And then you go back from there. So it was really important that we learned from our older adults. And what we learned was very insightful, and it's helping us to serve this growing population with more intentionality. So a little bit about what we learned. So through those surveys and interviews, we learned that older adults are eager for programs that are relevant, that they're inspiring and inclusive. And here's what we heard most often. There was a need for mental wellness support, for more gathering spaces for connection, expanded services and outreach for seniors, and more tech support. When we invited our senior focus group to dream big and describe their ideal library, they envisioned bright, comfortable spaces with strong collections, books still rule, and quiet areas. That's important as our community libraries have become more active. And then last but not least, ample parking. Parking is always important. So how do today's libraries meet these needs? Well, if you've been to a library recently, how many people have been to a library in the last month? Oh, I love it. Nice. Brad, I don't think you raised your hand. Daly. You know that libraries are consistently and constantly evolving and adapting to meet our community needs. The strategic planning feedback that I just talked about, that we received. And then we also were already receiving lots of feedback from our cities. I think we have 8 cities that we serve that are certified age-friendly cities. We also, there was a number of groups, so many of our cities were forming groups, like 55 plus, and we were hearing from them about what are the activities. So it was kind of this convergence of hearing from our patrons, staff were thinking about it, and then we received all this input through our strategic planning process. So we've used that to really reimagine how we could connect and shape our next chapter of programs and partnerships. And now I'd like to move into some highlights about the ways that we've tailored our services specifically for older adults. So there's 3 areas that I'll talk about. And the first one is as an innovation hub. We've expanded access to technology and creativity from 3D printers, virtual reality to headsets to coding, AI. We're all learning about. This presentation was not built with AI, but I'm going to try that. And we support digital equity through device lending, accessibility, tools, training programs, and we ensure that everybody can participate fully in today's digital world. Technology help is a big one, and you can see here some of the things that we offer. We offer tech tutors and drop-in tech help. Seniors can get comfortable with smartphones, navigate the internet safely, and enjoy ebooks with confidence. Our Fix-It clinics and memory labs, that's what's on display in this picture. Those workshops have been a huge hit, and they're hands-on, engaging, and a whole lot of fun. We're building or turning older spaces into maker spaces, and these are really for people who love to create, and who doesn't love to create and make things. Our maker spaces invite people of all ages to explore new tools like 3D and laser printing, and then, older hobbies like sewing and crafts, and many more. And it's really incredible to see these spaces attended by so many different ages and really to see people learning, intergenerations learning together. That's been really fun for us. Libraries are starting to loan actually physical items, and we call these our collection of library things. And our most popular are our Wi-Fi hotspots. You can check those out and take them home. We also have laptops. We have energy kits that we built with the Office of Sustainability, and cameras, hiking backpacks, just whatever you can think of, and board games, puzzles, or some of our newer ones. Okay, so the next big area is you should think of libraries as wellness partners. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this because we really invested in this area. Our health and wellness initiative includes nutrition and cooking classes, vaccine clinics, meditation apps, and through the state library, we offer free park passes to both the county and the state parks. Throughout the year, we've hosted system-wide events focused on important topics like Medicare enrollment, avoiding scams, and safe driving workshops with AARP. And recently, we really expanded these efforts. We've partnered with UCSF to host advanced healthcare directives workshops, and teamed up with Dignity Health for some fall prevention and senior safety workshops. And they have all been really well received. Dr. Rosen mentioned the importance of movement, and we offer Tai Chi, we offer yoga, dancing classes, hiking excursions, and walking book clubs. These encourage movement and connection, and it really we recognize how vital physical activity and mindfulness are to quality of life. Artistic expression. Kids love art, so do seniors. We celebrate artistic expression at every age with art, music, and free museum passes through our Discover and Go program. And we also subscribe to the belief that you're never too old to learn something new. Some of our creative aging programs like memoir writing, music and dance classes, they foster curiosity and connection. And yes, you can even check out a ukulele or a karaoke machine to take home. But those aren't my favorite. One of my favorite programs this year is one that I'm going to highlight next. Our 55 plus field trips have been a highlight this year. And it's really to keep our older adults engaged and active. And this is through a grant program. Whether it was visiting Pie Ranch in Pescadero, the Marine Mammal Center, or Pelham, as you'll see in this short clip next, our older adults are redefining what it means to be curious and staying connected.
Le agradezco mucho a la biblioteca, a ustedes que tuvieron la gentileza de traernos. Esto es un bien para un bienestar para nosotros. Les agradezco muchísimo en mi nombre y creo que en nombre de todos.
Okay, the last category is libraries as community connections and third places. And this is a picture of the beautiful Brisbane Library that's just down the hill, if you haven't visited it. It's really a beautiful library. It's one of our newest. And it's a wonderful example of community connections. It was built with community input and support. And the library has really become a vibrant hub where everyone in the community gathers to learn, create, and connect. And you have one of these in your communities as well if you don't live in Brisbane. for active youth and makers. It can be robust, and there can be laughter and boisterous enjoyment and joy. And then it also has a quiet room if you want more quiet study or to read without distraction. I didn't mention the privacy pods, but we're working on those thanks to Cunningham when she was on our library board, and of course Dr. Rosen. But you'll see more of those, and you're seeing those throughout libraries where people are, we're building in quiet spaces. Libraries have really become more community spaces. So there's always something happening at your library, and your libraries are truly the heart of your communities. Our connection with the community extends beyond our walls, and through services like the Bookmobile, Makermobile, Library Outposts, and satellite collections, we bring resources directly to those that don't have easy access to a facility. We also maintain strong ties with local senior centers, offering regularly scheduled visits that include senior book clubs, delivery of reading materials, and digital collection support. We show up at community events. This was Library Night at SF Giants, which is a really fun event. And we show up at events all across the county, from summer concerts in the park, to senior resource fairs, to city festivals and neighborhood gatherings. And it's really amazing how we still meet people that are just discovering what libraries offer, what modern libraries offer today. Partnerships are so important to the library and our communities, and you can see this list. There's many, many more organizations and county departments that we partner with. But we offer, libraries are and have been rated one of the most trusted places in the community. And so it's really important that we bring some of these social net safety providers in to assist patrons with a variety of resources. Some this year have been Medi-Cal, CalFresh, emergency food, shelter and rental assistance, and we also have the veteran services come to our libraries. Oftentimes they'll bring service dogs and provide that service, that calming service of being with a service dog. We are open 7 days a week to serve the community. So in times of power outages, heat waves, and other weather conditions that we've really experienced over the last several years, we work with the Department of Emergency Services to provide essential support and a safe, welcoming place to charge your cell phone, get some food, snacks, and other services. Volunteers and tutors, of course, we couldn't make our connections without the people that help deliver, and they are essential to our work. We have over 460 volunteers, which is really incredible. They mentor others, they share their knowledge, and they help us better represent the communities that we serve. And our friends and advocates, this was at the Library Outpost in Pacifica. It was a great celebration. Our first library outpost. It's a library vending machine. Our friends of the library groups, our library foundation, our library JPA members, they continue to champion our mission and amplify our impact. And their energy and commitment extend our reach. We're really looking at launching an ambassador program, because really word of mouth, hearing from others about what libraries have to offer is really important. So we're very grateful for their support and their belief in what libraries make possible. And now I have one more video. I'd like to end showing you a glimpse of the joy, the creativity, and the community connections that fill our libraries every day. It's a slideshow. And the audio is from every February, we have a Library Lovers Month where you can call in and say what you love about your library. So you've heard a lot from me, now you can hear from people in our communities. We'll see if this the award.
I love the San Mateo County Library System because of the vast variety of programs and services that are offered, things that you'd never expect the library to offer. I love the library.
I love the library because it is a way for me to stay connected to my mom and dad who are deceased. My parents were both always avid readers and patrons of their local library. They raised my sisters and I to love reading and to respect and appreciate the services that a library provides to the community. This is one of the many special ways I like to stay connected with them. Thank you.
I really appreciate that you have a safe, warm place that I can just sit and read when I want to. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love the library because I find that I'm able to access books in such a special way, and I can find pretty much whatever book I want, and I always find something off my list that I want to read. I love the experience of reading books that have kind of life well before me.
I like the library because you can use the makerspace to make 3D printing, you can use glow boards, and then to do other things. I like that the staff is very kind and very helpful, so patient.
I love my library because they have wonderful animal resources, and I love the arts and crafts workshop.
I love my library because the staff are so friendly and helpful, and it's so pleasant to have people who want to help you find the books that you need or the ones that your children are interested in, so I'm so grateful for them. Lots of love.
We have the best library of any county in the United States. I love the San Mateo County Library System.
So imagine a future where your library helps you listen or learn to knit at 50, record a song at 60, make a new friend at 70, host a podcast at 80. That's what we're building today. A library for every age, every stage, and every dream. As we look ahead, San Mateo County Libraries remains committed to expanding programs and resources that empower older adults, supports well-being, and strengthens our community connections. And now I want to invite each of you, it looks like we have a lot of library users, so visit your local library, try a new library program or class, maybe something I mentioned today that you didn't know about. We're open to you sharing your ideas for programs, so please share your ideas with library staff and consider volunteering your time and expertise. Because when we come together, our libraries and our communities truly grow and thrive. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, comments?
The library system for seniors is really important because most seniors live on a limited income. Books are getting Seniors live on a limited income. Books are getting more expensive by the minute. And you can get any book, if you're patient and time, that you want for any reason. Also, your art talks once a month are wonderful if you can't get to the museum to see the art that this area has. So, live for the library. Thank you very much.
I just want to put in a plug. One of the ways where seniors can contribute and volunteer that's really appreciated are the Fix-It clinics. Some of our best coaches are 75 and older.
I was going to say, those have been so much fun. The Fix-It clinics, you bring something, an item that you you could, use some expertise in fixing, and then you don't have to throw it away. Those have been really fun. And I also want to just say, nobody should be, we want to keep our independent bookstores in business, but everything at the library is free. So everybody should be taking advantage of the services that we offer.
Just wanted to FYI, if you have a library card, you have access to 50,000 ebooks from O'Reilly, their technical books. 50,000 books you have access to just with your library card. You don't even have to go to the library.
Thank you, Tom. Any other questions?
I want to compliment you on all the programs that are available. I'm from the Pacifica Library, frequent visitor. But what I haven't heard today is any focus on DEI. I know that's a dying art, it's going away. But some sensitivity training that the libraries could do about DEI. And I find that working with seniors, a lot of the inhibitions to go and try to connect to community is they don't feel welcome, they don't feel like they see a diversity, and the institution doesn't go out of their way to include them. So I would like to encourage the library to do more of these programs and education. You've got a captive audience, so we all need to watch our biases and by the time you get to be a senior, your card is full of biases. So I encourage you, as the wonderful programs in the library, to take advantage of that, and you will help us with the senior community to connect. Thank you.
I thank you for that comment. Our DEI is alive and well. You may not hear about it in the same way, but we have an equity work group, and those values are really true and were developed by our staff. But we're also looking at how we can be more intentional. And I think this is true not just of our older adults, but others, of getting outside the library, because there's many reasons why people don't feel safe coming to the library, even though, as I mentioned, we're one of the most trusted organizations. So we are making an effort, and we'll continue to do that, but I really appreciate those comments.
Thank you very much. Next, I have the pleasure to introduce Councilmember Juslyn Manalo from Daly City, and she will be focusing on food insecurity.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I am Juslyn Manalo, council member of the city of Daly City, your neighbor next door. But before I begin, I want to thank the city of Brisbane for graciously hosting the age-friendly workshop in collaboration with Cafe. Thank you to the amazing Ann O'Brien and Karen Cunningham for bringing us all together. And also, I do see some fellow colleagues, elected officials. And so if you're here and you're an elected official, stand up, and we just want to say thank you for your work and what you do in our communities. We have thank you so much. They're here because they care about our older adult population and age-friendly communities. And so I really appreciate the contributions from our fellow speakers and participating cities committed to building a more inclusive, age-friendly community. You know, these workshops are vital opportunities for cities and community members to learn best practices and proven models that help create more inclusive, supportive, and age-friendly environments for all residents. And so, after the county stated loneliness as a public health crisis, the city of Daly City shortly followed as the first city in the county. Now in our fifth year as age-friendly, Daly City has been dedicated to understanding the unmet needs of our active adults and seniors. Through the passage of a Measure Q in 2020, the Daly City Council prioritized the allocation of additional funding to expand programs for active adult and seniors. Today, I will be sharing how Daly City supports food security, and I know there was a question on that earlier today, especially for our older adults. Through local programs, partnerships, and community care, and also I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our Daly City age-friendly task force members in attendance today. We have Perla Abrientos, Marie Valarosa, Leilani Ramos, Mike Stansel, and Eden Ballard from Daly City Partnership. So thank you. We got a whole crew here. So food security means that everyone has consistent access to nutritious, affordable food. Given the current national climate, food security for all residents is a critical resource. So Daly City is proud to be able to offer a variety of food programs, many in partnership with local nonprofits. Our strong network of programs helps ensure no one in our community goes hungry. So let's start with our cornerstone services, the Congregate Nutrition Program that we see here. So every weekday, we have a chef, Opal Fuller, part-time staff, and volunteers prepare about 5,000 meals each month at Cafe Dolger. These meals meet the strict San Mateo County Health Nutrition Guidelines and are partially funded by the Older Americans Act and the County of San Mateo. So anyone 60 years or older is welcome to make an advance reservation for lunch at one of our 4 Daly City dining centers. Bayshore Community Center, Dolger Senior Center, Gillard Park Clubhouse, and the Lincoln Park Community Center. Our doors open at 11 a.m. and lunch is served at noon. There is just a $3 voluntary contribution for an eligible participant, and then a $7 contribution. But no one, and I'll say this again, no one is turned away for lack of funds. So this program not only provides nutritious meals, it fosters connection and friendship, which is just as vital to well-being as food itself. So Daly City recognizes the impact of social isolation and as mentioned earlier, we know it's so important because when you have a meal and you get to share that meal with others, you build that connection with one another. And I've visited many of our congregate meal programs, and everyone it's basically their time, and they look forward to it. And so I welcome each and every one of you. As mentioned, you do a phone call the day before, or you register on site. Also, we have an additional, for those looking for a light bite or friendly space to gather, the Westlake Park Garden Deli at the Dolger Senior Center is open Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The deli offers very low-cost sandwiches, soups, salads, and coffee, perfect for a quick, affordable meal with friends. Also, meanwhile, the Westlake Park Senior Pantry provides free groceries for Daly City seniors through a partnership with Second Harvest Silicon Valley. The program serves about 157 families and over 240 individuals. Groceries include fresh produce, dairy, meats, dry goods, and bread. It's appointment-based, no-line system, ensuring a dignified and friendly shopping experience. Our broader partnerships. Daly City values its partnerships with local nonprofits to expand access to food resources across our city. The Grocery Rescue Program is offered through a partnership with Second Harvest of Silicon Valley. Second Harvest rescues food from local grocery stores like Safeway and Target, providing healthy produce, dairy, and proteins to our community. The Grocery Rescue Program delivers donated food 3 times a day to seniors across the city. Food distributions are also another vital resource for our community and serves hundreds of households every month. Second Harvest supports regular food distributions at the Bayshore Community Center, that's the second and fourth Fridays, and Lincoln Park Community Center, the second and fourth Wednesdays. Second Harvest also supports a food distribution at the Community Service Center in partnership with Daly City Partnership across from our City Hall. Together, we really want to ensure that we make a true Daly City, age-friendly city, along with many of your cities, that cares for every generation through access, dignity, and community. So if you or someone know would like to join, participate, or help, come and join us. Because we believe that together, everyone should have a place at the table. And so now we're here for questions and answers, and if there's any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Thank you, Juslyn. Any questions for Juslyn Manalo? She is a wealth of information. Just ask. I think you did a great job. Thank you so much for being here, Juslyn.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone is welcome. I just want to say for our meals, and that we believe that aging in place is so important. So wonderful to meet you all. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Mollie Brown, who works in Brisbane, is going to rattle your brain with some really fun things that we want to do.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. I see some familiar faces out there, but for those that don't know me, my name is Mollie, and I work in the City Manager's office here in Brisbane. I want to thank you all for coming to Brisbane. It's so nice to host you, and thank you, Karen and Ann, for putting together this wonderful program. My presentation today is going to be short and sweet. I'm just going to tell you about our newest initiative, Brisbane Cares, which is about volunteerism here in Brisbane. Am I clicking or are you scrolling? You can scroll to the next one. Well, while that's happening, thank you, that's perfect. So in March of this year, our council got together to discuss their priorities for the year, and they identified volunteerism as a council priority. And a few months later, in September, Brisbane Cares was born. Our goal is to build on and strengthen the long history of volunteerism that already exists here in Brisbane between residents, community organizations, and city staff to support meaningful projects that enhance our city. You can scroll to the next. Thank you. So a few things we've accomplished in the past few months. We built a new page on our city website about Brisbane Cares. We have a volunteer repository and sign-up form, so you can go to our page and let me know if you're interested. You fill out the days of the week you're available, what kind of activities you might be interested in, your age, and your contact information. And that information comes to me, and I have a long list of folks who I can contact in case a volunteer opportunity comes up. We also have a list of ongoing volunteer opportunities and upcoming or new volunteer opportunities that can be easily found and accessed on this page. And we're also writing a monthly article in the Star. The Star is the City of Brisbane's monthly newsletter. So that is really easily accessible because it comes right to your door here in Brisbane. And you can find a little quarter page every month about what's going on in terms of volunteerism. This is still a very new program. So we just started this, like I said, a few months ago. So it's in its infancy and we are building and growing. You can scroll to the next page. Thank you. Like I said, this is a short and sweet presentation. I mostly wanted to get feedback from you all as a community about what you want to see if you're a resident in Brisbane, or maybe what is already existing in your community that you think might do well here. I also wanted to mention that Karen let me know earlier that this whole event was put on by volunteers and senior volunteers at that. So this is great. This is a great example of what can be done with volunteer time, and anybody at any age can participate. So if anyone has any questions or has any thank you, Nicole. Any questions or ideas they'd like to share with me, now would be a great time. You can also come up to me afterwards or find me at City Hall.
Sorry, I only have one microphone, the other one's not working, so bear with me.
This sounds like a really exciting program, your Brisbane Cares. I'm just curious, when the council formed this, was there a budget and staffing as part of that founding?
I'm getting my steps in.
Thank you so much. Thank you, good question. Staffing is mostly coming from myself and others in the city manager's office. We're also trying to identify programs that might already exist with staff, within departments that maybe just haven't been honed or built up yet. And then of course we're also really relying on volunteers to step up and spend their time. As far as budget, it would fall under the city manager's office budget, and that more comes like administrative work or scheduling, things like that. So we're hoping that it's not a huge cost and that we're relying more on volunteer work. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions?
Hi, thanks for being here. I'm in a dilemma because I have 86 years of accumulated knowledge, and I still think my time is worth something. And I understand people do like to volunteer to keep busy, but I am busy, and I think my time is worth something, and I can't volunteer. I need to be paid. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much for your letting us know about the program, but I wondered if there's a matrix. Did you learn from some other city, or how did you begin this? I know that the supervisors approved it, or city council, but how and where did it come from?
Yeah, we did do a lot of research into surrounding communities in San Mateo County who have similar programs. So I based, for example, our new website page off of other communities that have this kind of program going on, specifically Portola Valley and Daly City and Burlingame. And we, like I said, are still in the infancy stages, so we're looking for more examples of other communities who are doing something similar.
Thank you, Mollie. The volunteerism is so important. And look at those beautiful cards on the table. They were all handwritten by our dear friend Rory sitting over there. pieces here are made by all volunteers, and we have Catherine sitting over there, and Lisa who's not here today. And while we're talking about centerpieces and volunteerism, have a look at the back of your chairs. There's a dot on one chair per table. If you find a dot, you get to take home your centerpiece. And if you don't want it, you can give it to somebody else.
I was going to wait till the end. Please will get up and stretch.
All right, we have a very special young lady who is going to speak to you next. Rajan is with the Youth Advisory Committee, and she works. All right, settle down. All right, if you don't want your centerpiece, give it to somebody else. We don't have to take it home. You can put it on their table. So with me is Avani Rajan. Avani is on our Youth Advisory Committee, and she works very, very hard at the library and various other places throughout the city, and a lot of times with our seniors. So she's just going to tell you all about that.
Hi everyone, my name is Rajan, and I'm the current Vice President of Brisbane's Youth Advisory Committee. This is currently my 5th year on the committee, and we've done a bunch of different events for different communities within our community of Brisbane. So our goal for YAC this year and throughout previous years and in the future is to bring together different communities. In doing so, we have different events, such as our Senior Tech, which is hosted once a month on Wednesdays in our Sunrise Room. And it provides a space for seniors to come by with any technological issues that they may have. Laptops, phones, iPads. People have talked about wanting to bring their microwave down. And these issues can range from anything such as turning the ringer on to having to actually open up the computer and try to fix some of the hardware in it. So we just want to provide an area where seniors can come, ask any questions, and we'll try our best to fix it. If not, we'll try to steer them in the right direction on asking a professional who can actually fix it. Other communities that we've tried to bring together is the teen community. We host teen socials in the Sunrise Room. We have one today at 5:30 to 8. And this provides a safe space for teenagers to get together and bond through video games. We host friendly competitions, and also through board games. We mainly want teens to come out of their homes and talk to one another face to face, especially after the pandemic. It's kind of been hard to go out there and really interact with other people, so we want to provide those spaces for anybody. In the past, we've hosted senior karaoke, which is always a fun one. We sing a bunch of different songs. Anybody is welcome. So if you guys have any other ideas on stuff that you want to see within any community, feel free to reach out. And in the YAC, we were able to help out with Festival of Lights, with the Day in the Park, but none of this could be possible without Sarah from REC. She helps us with everything. She helps us get opportunities. And she's just really amazing, so thank you guys.
Thank you very much. This is a prime example of how intergenerational population is so important in helping all our cities working with our older adults. So definitely thank you for your presentation today. Does anyone have any questions for her? Okay, thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Kasey Cullinan. She is the Recreation Supervisor from South San Francisco, and she's going to be talking about their Adult Day program.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like she said, my name is Kasey Jo Kelly. I am the Recreation Supervisor for our Seniors Division in South San Francisco. I am located at our Roberta Saratelia Senior Center, which is a full operating senior center, so we have drop-in programs, lunch programs, things of that nature. But like she said, specifically today, I will be talking about our adult daycare program. So our adult daycare program was established in 1986, so we're coming up on 40 years of excellent care for not just seniors in South San Francisco, but in surrounding communities as well. It is for those who suffer from Alzheimer's, dementia, stroke, Parkinson's, or just general frail illnesses that they may have. And our goal is really to help them remain in their homes, in their community, with their loved ones, as long as possible. So we're really there to enhance their care. We are a social program, so we really focus on, through recreation, we love learning through play. And so seniors can still play, so we do a lot of learning through play in our adult daycare. We do have a few different funding sources. Part of it is funded through South San Francisco Parks and Recreation, but we do also receive grant funding through the Older American Act funds through the county. So that is one of our 3 grant-funded programs we have. So we have adult daycare, we have congregate nutrition, and we have a transportation grant. In addition to that, we are fee-based, so some of our participants do pay a daily fee to attend, whereas others are on a sliding scale or receive the grant funds in order to attend. Our coordinator works very closely with the families to ensure that everyone is able to come for the appropriate amount of days that they would like to attend. Our daily fee is a $64 daily fee. It is a pre-scheduled schedule, so it's Monday through Friday, and they do have a set schedule, but she does work with families on a sliding scale so that they're able to pay, and it doesn't limit their ability to be able to come to program. We have been very fortunate that the majority of our participants right now are at least partially funded on the grant, so even though they may pay for 2 days a week, we may be able to get them on the grant for 2 additional days a week, so that's also been very helpful for us. A day in life, I think it's important to talk about what a day in our program looks like. Our adult daycare program operates Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the majority of programming being offered between 9 a.m. and about 2:30 p.m. is the majority of programming. In the mornings, they are either dropped off by loved ones who are able to still drive them, or we work very closely with the Ready Wheels to set up an account for the families in order for them to be dropped off and picked up each day. So we work very closely with Ready Wheels. Our coordinator works with the families at intake in order to get that set up. Our enrollment right now, we are very excited that our largest day of week right now is 16 participants, which is fantastic. And we have 3 staff, so we have our coordinator, Rosen, and we have 2 additional staff who are in the program. It is a licensed program, so we are a 1-to-8 ratio, and we've been very fortunate to be able to be under that ratio so we can provide the best care. Our hours of operation, like I said, is 8 to 3, with the majority of programming being from 9 to 2:30. When participants arrive in the morning, we do provide breakfast every day. Usually one of my staff or my coordinator prepares the breakfast. So it is a nice, delicious, home-cooked meal. We also have coffee and juice in the mornings. And the mornings start out a little slow. We have some early risers who are there right at 8 a.m., but we have others who trickle in around 10. So we understand some people enjoy to sleep in. Don't we all, if given the opportunity. So we usually wait until about 10 a.m. to start our first activity of the day. So from 8 to 10, is just welcome. So we have the newspapers out, we have music going, we have puzzles, we have word searches, we have all those things for the morning, or we have others who just like to sit and chat in school. We have others that just enjoy doing that. Our first activity usually starts around 10 a.m. and it usually starts with either exercise or a brain game. So if it's exercise, we will do a lot of different things. We do have videos that we use, but those can get a little stale sometimes. So we also have parachute, we have darts, we have bowling. We have a lot of different activities that we like to do for some exercise and getting our bodies moving. We also have a beautiful garden that we will go outside, and if it's a lovely day, which it has been lately in South City, we'll do exercise out in the garden. They also will help water the plants and weed for those who are interested in those kinds of things. After exercise, we always do a brain game, so it's either crossword puzzle, trivia, oh gosh, we do so many different things, categories, and they're all life-sized games, so it's all very involved. We have a big memory game that we play where you have to match the pictures. So we do that one a lot. That one's a really big fan favorite. And then around noon we do lunch. It is a provided lunch every day from Meals on Wheels. So no one has to pay for lunch. We do provide it. And we're very grateful to Meals on Wheels for being able to provide that service for all of our adult daycare participants. Lunch is usually about an hour. After that, we usually into some kind of play type game. So we do bingo, we do karaoke, we do knitting and sewing for those who are interested. We do painting, other art crafts, things like that. And that usually takes us until about 2 o'clock. Around 2, we do an afternoon snack, which is also provided free of charge. And then between 2 and 2:30 is typically when our participants start getting picked up by ready meals for their family members to go home for the day. So that's kind of a general schedule. Obviously that changes. We also do seasonal things, holiday activities, special events, things like that. And recently, this year, we've started doing some more intergenerational programming with our adult daycare. So our CVEC or preschoolers will walk over to the senior center. Luckily, it's very close. And they will come for about 2 hours once a month to do some intergenerational programming with the preschoolers. So we've done a lot of art projects together. We have done snacks. We have done cooking. This is one of the photos. And so it is really a lot of fun to start incorporating that. And we have decided to title it Grand Friends. So when the preschoolers come over, we do call it our Grand Friend event, and everyone really looks forward to it. There's a lot of benefits to having loved ones in the adult daycare program, not only for our participants, but for the caregivers as well. Like I said, our program really is social-based. So it's not a care-based program, but we do provide care as needed. But it really is mostly for social, and we want to encourage that to combat loneliness and to keep them in the home and in the communities as long as we possibly can. We do have a lot of different adaptive equipment for those who need a little bit more assistance, whether that's in the bathroom or walking or things of that nature. All of our programs are structured. They are encouraged to socialize not just with each other, but with our staff as well. And we are able to provide that supervision so that family members don't have to worry and they get to have some respite care for themselves, to be able to go do some other things that they maybe aren't able to do with their loved one there with them. We are enrolling. We are actively enrolling in the program, so if you or anyone you know is interested in enrolling, this is our contact information. My coordinator is Rajan. She has been with the program for about 30 years now. So she has a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge of this, and she is more than happy to walk you through the intake process and how to enroll with us. We are located at 901, that is the new library parking lot building. We are located at 601 Grand Avenue, which is right in the downtown of South San Francisco, with a lovely parking lot and a beautiful building for anyone who wants to come and visit, whether it's the adult daycare program or our other senior drop-in programs as well. We'd love to have you come stop by and give you a tour of our building. I'm happy to take any questions if you have any. Any questions? Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Colleen Conefrey. She is the recreation coordinator for the city of Burlingame. She'll be talking about the neighbor to neighbor program. Hi everyone, my name is Colleen Conefrey. I'm a recreation supervisor with the city of Burlingame, and I'm here today to introduce you to Meet Six Neighbors, which is a simple but powerful statewide initiative. The city of Burlingame, Burlingame's Park and Recreation, and this Burlingame Library have been working closely together to get this initiative more well known.
We'll scroll.
Scrolling, perfect, thank you. So why it matters. Research shows that knowing at least 6 neighbors improves both physical and mental well-being. It helps fight isolation, loneliness, and also can help in a natural disaster. By knowing our neighbors, we can be more prepared to help each other when things might not be going right in the community. It helps communities become more connected, and the goal isn't to know everyone,
just 6 people, because 6 strong connections can change how a neighborhood feels. It's about knowing at least 6 of the neighbors to improve that physical and mental well-being. So how we build belonging together is we're approaching this through 3 simple strategies in Burlingame. We're using these little passports that we've created to build connection. These little passports here are given to people to meet 6 neighbors. We're not collecting the data afterwards. This is just a little tool that people can go and meet 6 people in the community and then maybe put it in your bedside table. So if there is something that, you know, I'm feeling lonely right now, I want to reach out to someone, or there's an earthquake and you need to check up on your neighbor, you can pull this out and just have a quick resource. We're also starting with dedicated events in Burlingame. We've got our first one coming up on April 25th. So the big umbrella is You Belong Burlingame, and then meet 6 neighbors. So we want to bring the community out so that they can meet 6 people in their community to get to know each other. And we're going to do that with different focus groups, having people, if you love hanging out with dogs or walking your dogs, we want to have a table there for resources, or if you like to go on a walking club. So having different interest groups to then bring you together to strengthen the community and to meet more people with similar interests. We're also integrating this into our existing programs. I oversee our senior programming in Burlingame. So with our monthly events, I'm introducing this idea to people, where all you have to do is just go and say hello to 6 new people, and who knows where that relationship or connection could bring you. Perfect. So what are other cities doing to encourage this initiative? I've seen that San Francisco has been having some pop-ups at community festivals. Richmond did mini grants for block party and events. That's another goal of Burlingame. We would love to get block parties back out and more popular, where we can shut down the street so people can come on your city block and get to know your actual neighbors that are right next to you. And then there's been some other cities that have been taking this pledge and they've integrated it into citywide sustainability. So today I just wanted to introduce this initiative to everyone, and I'd love to hear if any other cities are doing something with the Meet 6 Neighbors initiative, or if you have ideas, please contact me if you don't want to speak right now. Thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions? Okay.
Oh, there's one over there.
Oh, here we are.
Thank you so much. Actually, I had more of a comment, as you said, suggestions. So, as I said, I was growing up in Sweden, and for 40 years in the community, they have actually put together a walking bingo. And you walk around and you check off things and you meet other families and you're connecting both adults and young, and you're just walking leisurely and you're learning some things. And at the end, there's usually a raffle, you win coffee or something, so there's always a prize, which means people get out of their house to do it, rain or shine. But actually, it's usually every Sunday, and so then people get out. And so it's a really good way to connect. And number 2, when I lived in San Francisco, I was also worried that I didn't know my neighbors on the street. So I started sitting out on my little steps going into my house, a Victorian house, and saying hello to people on Fridays. And then I hosted an event where I took pictures of all the homes on the street, and then I asked them to come over and put the picture on them so we all can identify who our neighbors were and say hello. And then people started asking, when are we meeting the next time? So that became kind of like the street fair, street kind of block party, and it connected us all.
Some great ideas there. Anyone else? Oh, way in the back. Okay. We're really making you work for this.
Hi, I just recently with this thing called The Longest Table in San Francisco. And it was all the neighborhoods in San Francisco, they were assigned a table and we had to bring a potluck. And it was at City Hall. And so within those tables, you get to meet your neighbors from the neighborhood. But then everybody was getting up and sharing their lunches with different neighborhoods. So I was in the North Beach, and then somebody from the Mission came over to our table, and we just introduced each other. So I own a cafe in Pacifica, and I've been doing something like this once a month in my parking lot where we show a movie. I tell everybody and anybody, come down, bring your dinner, but you have to sit next to somebody you don't know. And it's been great. So those are just things, this was the Longest Table was built out of Brooklyn right after the pandemic because neighbors weren't getting together and knowing each other. So now it's this annual thing, and it's like 5 blocks long.
Anyone else? Okay. Next, we have McCulley. He is our city librarian for the city of Burlingame.
Hi everyone. You're gonna have to forgive me because when I wrote my talking points, I made some assumptions that most of you had been to some of these events before and had heard some of our background information, so I may have to add a little bit. So I was hoping to be able to give an update on a program that we were hoping to have started by now. We've had some setbacks. We had 3 retirements, boom, boom, boom. So that set us back. So we haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'm going to do a kind of deep dive of what we will do once we're able to get to that point. Most of you probably recognize this picture. I think it was from the LA Times. This is from the Palisades fire. And that was kind of a wake-up call for cities because if it could happen there, it could happen almost anywhere, correct? We'd had some conversations. The city clerk in Burlingame decided to apply for a grant to get all of our historical staff reports and paperwork digitized because so much of it's still in paper. If something like this happened, it would all be gone. At one of our council meetings, Councilmember Brownrigg mentioned that his uncle lived near the Palisades and evacuated. And when he evacuated, he had no idea who his home insurance provider was. So those are the kinds of things that were the impetus for this project. These ideas of like things can burn down, things can be destroyed, you may not know the information once you've had to evacuate, that kind of stuff. So what we want to do is a 2-part program. The first part is called Save Your Stuff. So we want to teach seniors how to digitize their family photos, their videos, anything that is precious to them. I'll give you a good example. I grew up in Florida, so we ran from hurricanes every year. It was nothing new for us, but my mom had a big plastic tub that was just photos and paperwork that she threw in the back of her SUV every summer, or every fall, I should say, and we ran inland or wherever the safest place was to go. That was pre-digitization process, but that was just a standard thing, right? So we want to help people digitize their precious things, anything they want to save, photos, like I said, VHS, a lot of people still have old VHS tapes of weddings and stuff like that. We have kits that you can check out, take home, and within one afternoon, you can get almost all your VHS tapes digitized and put on a disc, put on a flash drive, whatever you want to put on. I just did this for my parents at home recently in Florida, and it took a couple of days to get all their VHS stuff, right? So that's the first part, is saving your precious stuff, but also your paperwork. So that if you do have to bug out quick, there's a fire coming, there's a flood, whatever the case may be, you'll have all your important paperwork in one place, on a flash drive, connected to your keychain, or in your purse, or in your glove compartment, wherever it is. You can even have it on all three, because they always can be copied. Someplace safe, so that when you have to leave, you have that information at your fingertips. You can go to another library, you can go to a friend's house that has a computer. You can access all this information at a moment's notice without having to, as our council member's uncle found out, having to sit down and think about who his insurance provider was, what number, how do I contact this person. So that's the first part of this project that we want to get started. And the second part is we'll be working with a genealogist who specializes not in just doing family research, but in creating a story. So we want to make it a sweet and sour. So the sour part is like, oh, you got to save everything in case something bad happens, right? The sweet part is, okay, now you've got all these photos, these videos, all this stuff you've got saved. What do you do with it? You can create something fun that you can pass on to your family members, or you can forward to your cousins, or you can present at a coffee party with your friends, whatever you want to do with them, right? These are some of my family photos that I stuck in here. So that's the second part, is making it fun. We have a makerspace that has so much equipment and technology for digitizing that we want people to, after we do the initial trainings, anybody can drop in and say, oh, I forgot to know how to do this. Can you show me real quick? We've got plenty of staff, plenty of volunteers that can do that. So that's the second part of the project. We will be starting that sometime after the holidays, maybe early spring. Like I said, we've had some retirees, some key positions, and so we had to push it back a little further. We had initially applied for the AARP Communities Grant.
Community Challenge.
Community Challenge grant. We did not get that grant, which was fine. We have a great library foundation that is very generous, and they will front us the money, because we want each person to be able to walk away with some sort of either a flash drive or an external hard drive, something to save all this information on, so they can take it home and they can stick it in, like I said, stick it someplace safe, so that when they have to leave, they can just grab that one thing in their clothes and they can get out of the house. Some of the things that we are already doing are, as I said, we do have a tech lab, and we applied and got a grant through our local library, Bay Area Consortium Pacific Library Partnership. We got a grant for virtual reality programs, and it's basically just to familiarize people, and the grant was written with seniors in mind, to show them what's possible with virtual reality. Now, a lot of it's just fun stuff, but he was also, our tech services manager, was also using it as an opportunity to educate them on global warming, environmental disasters, things like that. When you make it real like that in virtual reality, it kind of hits home. Like that photo originally in my first slide from the LA Times, that's an impactful photo, but when you look at it in virtual reality and you see this conflagration in reality, it hits different. So that is something that our staff have been working on. It's an ongoing project, so pretty much weekly you can stop in, anybody can stop in and try out our virtual reality headsets. We have expanded our computer drop-ins. I think Anne-Marie mentioned computer drop-ins, and somebody else did too. We've expanded our computer drop-ins. It was 3 days a week. It is now 4 days a week, so that seniors can stop in almost any day of the week to get computer help. It is run partially by seniors, because seniors do feel more comfortable working with other seniors when they're learning new technology and things about their phone and whatnot. So we do have seniors that work in that program, but we also have young people that work in that program that are up to date on AI, 3D printing, things like that. So our computer drop-in is very popular and very well used. I mentioned 3D printing. We do have quite a few 3D printers in the library that are, amazingly enough, we thought it was going to be, and it is young people centric, but seniors are very interested in 3D printing. They come in all the time just to check it out. You can see them running in our tech lab all the time. You can see them as it's making stuff. But people, when they realize that you can use it to, I just 3D printed a knob on my KitchenAid mixer. And so when people realize that you can use it to just fix things, we created a knob on one of our fans at the library that was about to get thrown out, and we 3D printed a knob so that we could turn it on and off. So when you realize that you can do things with 3D printing other than just make toys, the kids like to make things, fun things to trade on, it becomes more real and people get into it more. I think Anne-Marie also mentioned the sewing drop-in, things like that. That's a very popular one with both young people and seniors. There are 2 or 3 days a week where we'll have 8 sewing machines, and you'll walk down into our tech lab, and it will be absolutely full of both young people and seniors making clothes, creating quilts, doing art projects, such a variety of things. It's one of those what's old is what's new type situations. Seniors have been doing this for a long time, but now young people are getting into it, and so that's been great. We have expanded our memory kits. For those of you who don't know what a memory kit is, if you have Alzheimer's or dementia, we have these kits that are based on a decade. So let's say your prime decade was the 50s. You can check out a memory kit that's from the 50s, and it will have music in there. It will talk about what sports were, the main sports stars of that time. All kinds of other stuff, books, related pamphlets, anything to those decades. And so we've expanded that. We have more decades, but just the number of kits, because it's become popular. You can check those out and take those home. They're again, very popular, and the statistic is 25% of all boomers right now at some point will have either Alzheimer's or a dementia-related illness as they age. So that's a lot of people that are going to need that kind of help. And along with that, we have created a caregiver support group. We started about 2 months ago. It's slowly taken off, but it has become increasingly more popular. We have speakers that come probably every other month to talk about a certain subject, caregiving subject. And if not, then it is staff. It is also volunteer staff. This is not my staff. This is volunteer staff. One person that works in the caregiving community, and the other one who her husband had recently passed, and she was a caregiver for him for a long time. So she had that empathetic side that she really, wanted to talk to other caregivers. So that has been a very popular thing at the library. And then touching on volunteers, we have really ramped up our community volunteer opportunities. We will go so far as to create opportunities depending on what the person's needs are. Back to the dementia and Alzheimer's, we have a patron whose sister contacted us. She has early onset Alzheimer's. She's only in her early 60s. But she wanted to get out of her house. She still needed to interact with other people. We created a position, and it's something simple, something basic. When we are recycling books, the plastic Mylar cover that is on there can't be recycled, and so she comes in once a week and she removes that plastic cover, but it gives her something to do. She comes in every month, and she can't remember exactly how to get to the location in the building where it is, but we show her, and once she's there, she's able to do the task, and it's something to get her out of the house, and it helps her, use the memory that she has based so far. So that is kind of it for what we are up to right now. As Anne-Marie said, a lot of things that the county are doing, we do similar things or some of the same things. So this is not comprehensive by any means. And lastly, I'll just leave you this. This is just something pretty so that you don't have to keep focusing on that initial picture of the fire and Palisades. This is something that we have hanging in our library right now. These are pieces of artwork that are done by seniors, some with dementia and memory issues. This is just 3 of the photos or drawings that were in the library that I took photos of. There's a lot more that if you weren't coming to see, so just something pretty to look at. So thank you very much.
Lots of information. You're all taking notes. Everybody's got all this stuff written down right now. Any questions for Brad? Brad, thank you very much. All right, a couple more people to talk to you. Introducing Vince Simonitis. Sorry, Vince. I don't know how to say your name. Simonitis. My apologies, and nice to meet you.
Hi. So I'm going to talk about the pilot project that's been going on in the city of San Mateo this year for age-friendly business certification. And it's being run out of the city manager's office in partnership with Parks and Recreation because the city manager's office has the economic development manager, communications, Parks and Rec has the senior center and is the liaison with our senior advisory commission. And I'm a member of the Age-Friendly Coalition, and one of our main missions is supporting the city in achieving its age-friendly initiatives. And we've also partnered with the Chamber of Commerce and the Downtown San Mateo Association to make this work. So it's a simple concept. There's a lot behind the scenes, but basically we have a set of predetermined criteria that if a business meets, it can apply for and be certified as a age-friendly business. And senior volunteers, the reason I'm giving this presentation is this is a piece that I'm responsible for, where I've recruited some volunteers to go out into the businesses, meet with the owners, verify that what they checked on their application are met. And if they are, then we let the city know. The city will issue a decal that says they're certified. We'll promote them on the city's website, our Age-Friendly Coalition website, through our partners, the Chamber, Downtown Association, etc. And the idea is that we'll promote to seniors as well as to the community at large the status of those businesses, and hopefully seniors will preferentially support them over competitors because they've made a commitment to supporting our seniors. So before we launched the pilot, there are a number of decisions that we needed to make. Got to be really clear on who's responsible for what the volunteers do, what the city does, city staff does, what I do, etc. We had to make sure the criteria that we developed were the right ones that we wanted to take into the pilot. So we developed the criteria. We did a survey of 150 seniors and what's important to them when they're trying to find a business to purchase a service or a product from. We looked at the criteria that other cities that have implemented this kind of program and it worked and used and not used. So we satisfied ourselves that they were verifiable criteria. Some subjectivity is unavoidable, but we did the best we could. How easy, how hard are we going to make it? If you make it too easy, seniors who patronize these businesses preferentially will be disappointed when they find out they're not so friendly after all. If you make it too hard, no businesses will apply. So we're kind of trying to find that sweet spot between those. And then the scope, the decisions there were if you open up to all businesses in the city, or just the downtown businesses geographic, or do you do it to just storefront businesses, or open it up to services? And how many participants do you want? Will you take to get enough data to give you some confidence in moving forward? So the criteria, just really briefly, they fit in 4 different categories. The external environment are things like Is it well lit, a safe environment, no tripping hazards, easy door to get into, etc. Parking, accessible parking nearby. The internal environment, non-slip floor surfaces, restrooms with grab bars, adequate lighting, noise levels where you can actually have a conversation with somebody if you're in a restaurant. And marketing communications, things like their websites, their telephone, voicemail messages. Do you have to go through a 7-part tree to figure out who to talk to, or does somebody answer the phone? And the employees are courteous, or they trained in a variety of categories. And you don't have to meet all of them, you have to meet a certain number in each of these various categories. And we're not trying to evaluate the products or the services, only their attitude, their respect, their treatment of seniors, we're not Open Table or Yelp or Google. I should say at the bottom, one thing when we were out talking to businesses and trying to recruit them into the process, that bottom line, as you can see, it said, nobody should have a hard time trying to give you their money. And that's a key thing, to understand. And the businesses seem to think, if I've got a senior come in, I do want their money, so let's make it easy for them to help. So where are we with the pilot? So we had a goal of getting 20 businesses certified this year. Last week we hit 20. We didn't, at the time I made the slide, we were at 17, but we're now at the 20. We're going to continue to accept applications while we do the evaluation. The decals were distributed to the storefront businesses by the city's economic development manager. I think they're all out there. There may be a few still, but the most recent one's not yet. So the owners are business owners are starting to promote their status, and as are we and our Age-Friendly Coalition through our website, as is the city through its website, Facebook, other social media. And we're starting to analyze the data that we got from the pilot to see what we learned and what we need to do differently. So here's some preliminary findings, and the city hasn't yet evaluated its piece to contribute to this as much as this is my personal assessment from being out in the field with these businesses and what I've experienced. So the way this was launched, it was considered a soft launch. So the Downtown Association, the Chamber of Commerce, the city newsletter, electronic newsletter, put a little blurb about this program being available with a link to where the application criteria were. What we learned is that doesn't do much. Very few people actually open those links and read those articles to figure out what's going on. And we learned that business busyness. The owners of these are mostly small businesses. We didn't get any change. We weren't looking for the change. They have to go up multiple levels to get anything approved to do locally. It makes sense that you have more small businesses applying. And just those owners are so busy, it's very difficult to get their time and attention. Personal recruitment is what it took. We had volunteers from our coalition and other people that helped with this. We asked businesses or people, seniors at various tabling events that we do at the Parks Music Series. What businesses do you like? Where do you shop? Where do you think you get special care, treatment, discounts? And by finding out, who those businesses were already, it gave us a window to go to them and approach them about the program. Finding out that even though they already have a good senior clientele, they didn't know about the program through those other attempts to reach them. It was the personal connection, and telling them that seniors recommended them was helpful. Owners are not on site. When you go into a business and you're going to try to recruit them, they're very often not there. They're managers running the store. They're difficult. When you explain it to them and they say they'll pass it on, it doesn't always get passed on, or certainly not in the way that we would do it if we had that opportunity. Our criteria we're pretty satisfied with. There's some tweaks we need to do. One or two will drop and others will modify going into the next phase. The interactions with the owners were positive. It's not surprising because the ones that applied got the concept right away, wanted to be part of it. So when somebody came out to actually move that process along, they were very happy to discuss it. They were open to coaching which is part of what we're doing. The small core of senior volunteer verified, I did all 20 of them, and I had about 5 different people, senior volunteers, do anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 businesses with me. I'm training them so that when we go into the next phase of this, they know how to do this, they know how to deal with interactions, disputes if you have them with the owners of the businesses. We did not reach any, hardly any non-storefront businesses. We were hoping we'd get, plumbers, electricians, landscapers, people that don't have storefronts that you can visit to participate, but we only got 1. And some parts of the city not represented. If you go San Mateo, we did well on downtown, we did on El Camino and some of the strip shopping centers, but nothing east of 101. So what we did in the beginning, just to give you an idea of when we started, we were trying to attract businesses with nobody else involved. So we had an appeal, a flyer that we dropped off. We did a different project in the city where we identified where all the seniors live, census tracts, senior housing, and so on. And we found out that there's 1,500 seniors that are in a half-mile walking distance of downtown. So we tried to appeal to the downtown businesses by telling them how many seniors could walk to their location if it was a positive experience for them. And that helped. But when we got to the next phase and had maybe a dozen businesses or so already participating, giving that information to those candidate or prospect businesses was helpful. Instead of them being early in the pilot, not knowing what's going to happen, seeing who's already signed up and what they're doing, it made it easier for them to be part of it, or want to be part of it. And as the last slide, this is an indication of some positivity that we've got from people that are already businesses that are already on board. So that top one says best age-friendly businesses in San Mateo 2025. So the Chamber of Commerce every year does a best of contest polling, and they put in a best of age-friendly business category this year. Peninsula Family Service YMCA, or Peninsula Family Service has an age-friendly decal on our website. The bottom left picture is of Baking Arts on 3rd Avenue in San Mateo, with a happy owner getting her decal. And last one, Senior Appreciation Month. Piazza Supermarket, I can tell you real quick, Piazza Supermarket had a 5% discount for seniors on Tuesdays. And the only way you would know that is there was a little tag underneath the glass counter at the checkout stand. So if you noticed it, and if you told them that you wanted that discount, you would get it, but it was hardly noticeable. After we approached them and they signed up and were certified, they went to a banner outside on their awning that said, senior discounts on Tuesdays, and then now they have in October that replaced that banner with Senior Appreciation Month. They offer the discount Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can see this a mile away. So that's what we're hoping for, is that you get businesses start to push themselves out into this arena, and we'll continue trying to get more. We're at the point now where we're going to meet with the city folks and try to figure out exactly what they learned and what we need to do before we go live.
Look at all the stuff that this county is trying to get going for everybody. It's just amazing. Does anybody have any questions for this?
Hi, well, it sounds like you guys did a lot of work. I'm just wondering why, or if you had considered the accessibility to these facilities. So many of our seniors have adaptive equipment that's sometimes a little wider or bigger or small step to get into a store, and I'm wondering if that was one of their criteria, and if not, why did you decide not to?
Yeah, so I think I can speak loud enough. One of the criteria that we have is in the interior environment is adequate seating for people. If they're waiting for service, there needs to be chairs that are comfortable enough for sitting in. There has to be adequate space to navigate through the store for wheelchairs and walkers and so on. We deliberately did not, the city did not choose to have us become a verifier of satisfying all ADA requirements. There were legal implications to trying to do that, and so we did work into those things and give the businesses credit for it, but it's not a requirement that they meet all of those standards.
Any more questions for Vince? Vince, thank you so much.
All right, get excited. It's Noam's turn. Noam is from MELD, M-E-L-D. Say it out loud. MELD! Welcome on.
I'm not going to use the microphone. Will you advance the slides when I ask you to? Great. Okay. Now, how many people were here last time and heard me give the talk? Anybody? All right. Now, you might remember it was call and response. And when I pointed to you, everybody shouted free. And that was because I tried to make the point that everything that Mel gives out is free. Now, I'm not going to rehash that, but it's a good thing to remember. Now, we have two things, Mel and Abe Closet. Mel, Medical Equipment Loan Program, and my apology to the videographer for having to do like that. Medical Equipment Loan Program. Very simple.
I can hold it for you.
It's called loan because we give it out and we want it back. There's no charge. We don't care how long somebody keeps it. We just want it back so it doesn't end up in landfill. Real simple concept. Able Closet, that's the gem of our group. It's the same stuff for free, but it's scaled to work for children with special needs. Our stuff is a couple $100. Their stuff is a couple $1,000. Our stuff, you go to Walgreens and buy it, but don't come to us and get it for free. Exactly. You come to them and you save months and months of it being customly built. And of course, it's free. All right, we got the concept. Now, next slide, please. Mel, it's a funny name, but a great story. We started out because somebody learned about a similar program in Los Angeles that was giving out medical equipment, started giving it out to veterans of World War I. We call it a proof of concept that's worked for 125 years. We brought it up here. We went to a Rotary. I'm not a Rotarian. Thank God somebody was. They went and pitched it to the Rotary. The Rotary gave us some seed money, and we were off and running. Everybody thinks, oh, you gotta be part of the Rotary to take advantage of milk. No! Anybody can come and volunteer. Anybody can get our equipment, and of course, it's free. Exactly. Now, next slide. We give out what's called DME. What the heck is DME? Durable Medical Equipment. You can read the list. You don't need to read it off. But the point is, it's free. And we give out, next slide please, care items. All sorts of things that people give to us, unopened, still in date. Every bit as good as what you get from CVS or Walgreens. But from us, it's free. Exactly. Now, we're going to get through this so that you can make up some time because we're running way behind. All right, the next few slides are just going to give you an impression of the fact that we have grown a lot in 4 years. Next slide. What have we done? We've given out 20,000 items to people over 4 years. What would that have cost them if they bought it new? $2.2 million. And all the things that we've kept from going into landfill, over 104 tons. So when... the 140 volunteers that we have. When we started 4 years ago, no volunteers, 140 volunteers now. Every one of you can come and volunteer with us. Next slide. All right, now, what are the clients that Mel has? Well, they look just like San Mateo County. Most of them are old white people like San Mateo County, but a lot of them are others. And thank God for that. We're doing constant outreach to communities that need assistance and underserved parts of San Mateo County, like the northern part of San Mateo County. We just opened a facility in South San Francisco because they needed our stuff. And it's free. Exactly. Next slide, please. Now, this shows that we went from a little bitty thing here, and suddenly, in 4 years, kaboom! That's because we changed the game plan. Instead of giving our stuff out in a personal storage shed, it was just a total pain for a client and difficult for us. We ended up, thank God for grants and private donation money, we ended up going out and running 2 spaces, one in San Carlos, one in South City. And because we have now a warehouse where we can give this stuff out, people can find us and can get the stuff they need. On Saturdays in San Carlos, we actually have things on racks that we roll out to the front, and just like at CVS, they pick what they need and walk away with it for free. The most important thing we give out is absorbent underwear. Polite word for adult diapers. If you had to buy them, you'd be spending $250 a month. From us, they are free. So, when you have people that need adult diapers, send them our way, have their caregiver come. Anybody can pick up stuff for a person in need. We don't ask for ID. We don't really care where you live, except we need it for grant purposes, so we do ask a few demographic pieces of information. But the point is, anybody can get this stuff. And I hope that you will help me spread the word. We have brochures in the back. I love this organization. It's a great, great thing, and I want you all to take advantage of it. Thank you very much.
So I saw him last year at his presentation in Daly City, and I was totally blown away, and I haven't stopped talking about how fabulous he is ever since. And we did make an introduction to South San Francisco Scavenger, who gave you those beautiful green bags today. Teresa, I heard you took a really good conversation about them. And, sorry? Yeah, you gotta talk to Teresa at South San Francisco Scavenger. But we have Brisbane City Manager here to say hello. I know some of you probably do not know him, and it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you, John.
Hi, everybody. I'm the one holding you from your lunch, so I'm going to keep this super, super short. Jeremy Dennison, City Manager of Brisbane. First of all, we're really happy to have been able to host the event today and to see everyone here. So many great presenters. I hope you're walking away inspired and refreshed and excited to get out there and do the great work on behalf of those who need age-friendly assistance, like we all do at some point. So I'm going to shut up because there's food here. Enjoy the day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for what you do for age-friendly needs in our community. Happy holidays.
You will have a wonderful opportunity, Teresa, if you'd like to come so everybody can see your beautiful face, to talk to Teresa. We talked about Mel and South San Francisco Scavenger. You know, there's so much of this stuff that just cannot be recycled. So this is a match made in heaven, and I'm hoping that's going to work out in the future, and I'm hoping Mel can provide you guys with anything you need for your families. A huge thank you to all of the people who made this event possible. We pulled this off in 4 weeks. Somebody else was going to host it. We said, nope, Brisbane to the rescue. Here we go. And so here we are. And There were so many volunteers that just, you know, in this town, this is just what happens. Hey, I need help, come on over, and let's make this happen. Making the centerpieces to the table, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a testament to our community that we can really pull off anything. And in the age-friendly world, I hope you've learned a lot today. Huge thank you to all of our speakers for being here and all the hard work that you guys did to make this possible, and the crossover between all the different places and different needs in our communities. And if you've got suggestions, everybody